All right, we live. All right. Just let me send this link out one more time, and then it'll be good. There you go. Let's share. Copy the link. All right. Now we live. All right. First and foremost, Shabbat Shalom. We will give all praises, all glory to our Abanawa Yahweh. We do so in the name of our high priest, our big brother, our king, Yahweh Shai. Shout out to the 12 tribes. Shout out to all the men pushing this truth and the women holding them down, our Akwats. You know, we love them too. They do play a good role. Today's topic is the mission of Christ and the prophecies. All right. We're gonna get in some precepts dealing with what Christ came for and the prophecies pertaining to Christ in the Old Testament and the fulfillment in the New Testament. And some of our brothers I'm gonna join us. We started off a little late, but I didn't want to get into for 9 o'clock. But anyway, all praise to the Most High. We here now. And the first scripture I'm gonna go to Matthew 11 and 18. You can follow along with me. You have to do this from scratch, but with the Spirit of the Most High, we'll get it done. All right, let's go to Matthew 11 and 18. All right, 118 and 11. I think I want 18 and 11. So let's check it out. Just bear with me. Let me get there. All right. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 11. It says, "For the Son of Man is come to save that which is lost." So this red letter, Christ with his own mouth. But his own mouth saying that he come to save what was lost. Right? That's his mission. He telling you what his mission was. And if we go to the precept for this scripture, TSK reference, we all know that Christ came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right? For edification, we'll pull that too. That's Matthew 15:24, when he tell the woman he's not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that's Christ's own mouth saying that we came for. All right. Sorry for my manners. We have my beloved sister here, Ahava. Say shalom, Ahava.
Shalom, shalom.
All right. If you get any scripture you want me to read, just let me know if anything come to mind. All right. Use my guess for the night. All right. So so we're gonna get the precept for that. That's Matthew 15. Precept is Matthew 15:24. All right, let's find out what was lost. He said, "The Son of Man came to save that which lost." Matthew 15:24 says, "But he answered, the he is Christ. He answered and said," he's talking to the female who actually seeking help for her daughter, "I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel." So that's clearly his mission or his own mouth verbatim. All right. But it's deeper than that. Not a lot of OT only Israelites. They they disregard the Messiah. They say they can't see him in the Old Testament. So these scriptures right here are some what we call milk. We're gonna get into some meat. But before we get into the meat of the prophecies, we're gonna get into the milk of the prophecies. So the simple one way you could cut OT Israelites, because we're looking at the mission and the prophecies of Christ, is the classic scripture. We want to go to Isaiah, the 53rd chapter. And when we read that, we'll know, we'll have an indication of who was to come, the Messiah. This is Isaiah 53, verse 1. It said, who hath believed our report? And whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? Right? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, as a root out of dry ground. He had no form of comeliness, and when we see him, there shall be no beauty that we should desire him. All this talking about Christ is because it's going to get in detail. Verse 3, he was despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he had borne our grief and carried our sorrows, yet we did we esteem him stricken. Verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquity, and the chastisement of our peace was upon him. And with his stripes we are now healed. That means the whip on his back. All we are sheep. You see the word again, sheep? He's not sent unto the lost sheep. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord have laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He was brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers he is dumb. So he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and whom shall we declare his generation? For he was cut off from the land of the living. For the transgression of my people, that's possessive pronoun, was he stricken. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the richest death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Last scripture. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He had put the grief when he shall make his soul an offering to sin. He shall see his seed, shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. It's a classic scripture. They can't tell you nobody who is fit other than Christ, because Christ died for our iniquities. But notice that the comparison, it compared his people to sheep. When Christ with his own mouth said, he have not come but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that's a scripture there you could reference with, and we can bring it to the New Testament. We call a precept, because you know how this chapter started up, Isaiah 53 and 1, it said, who have believed our report, right? John is going to quote this when you go to the book of John. Let's go to St. John, I think I want 12 and 37. Let's follow along as I go. I can tell you that the prophecy was fulfilled in this chapter. All right. St. John 12 and 37 says, I want verse 38. That the saying, St. John 12 and 38, that the saying of Isaiah, that's Isaiah, the prophet might be fulfilled when he spake, Lord, who have believed our report? That's the same chapter we read. And who had the arm of the Lord had been revealed? So God, not God, but John, the Apostle John, actually backing up Isaiah or quoting Isaiah, saying this was fulfilled. That's Christ's mission. He's saying that the individual who was actually crucified 2,000 years ago, fulfilled the scripture of Isaiah, and that individual was the Messiah. All right. So that's a prophecy, and if you could mark that down as Isaiah 53, was Christ was prophesied to come and was fulfilled. Another classic one is Deuteronomy 18. Let's get that one also. Deuteronomy 18, and I think I want 18, verse 18, chapter 18, verse 18. Yeah, 18:18. It said, I raised them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee. I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I command him. And it shall come to pass, it shall come to pass, whosoever will not hearken unto my words, that he shall speak in my name. I required it of him. All right. So a prophet like unto Moses. Remember, Moses was a mediator. Moses had to make intercessions. It was the children of Israel, God, and the mediator is Moses. When the Most High God tells Moses, let the elders come up into the mount, the elders said, no, don't be him and talk to God. You talk to him. You know, they was afraid because of all the thunders and the lightning. And Moses had to mediate at that time. How do we know Moses was a mediator? Let me go to Deuteronomy 10 and 6. Why is I at it? Chapter 10. I think it want 10. It want 10 or 5. Let me see. I may want 5. Let me get the right precept now. All right. All right. Deuteronomy 5. Wait till you get down. Deuteronomy 5 and 5. I can start at verse 3. Let me show you where I'm meet. It said, I can start at verse 2. The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. The Lord made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us who are all of us here alive today. The Lord talk with you face to face in the mountain of God in the midst of the fire. Verse 5. That's what I want. It's Moses speaking now. I stood between you and the Lord, and you at that time, to show you the word of the Lord. For ye were afraid by reason of the fire, and not went up into the mount, saying, I am the Lord thy God. So Moses telling the children of Israel, I had to stand between you and God. That's a mediator. That's the definition of a mediator. A person giving messages to two different parties. So he is the person in between relaying the information. So the Moses said in Deuteronomy 18, he's going to raise us a prophet like unto Moses. And he said, him shall ye hearken, right? We could find that all throughout the scriptures, we find out that the children of Israel was looking for that prophet. And if we could find it, I could find it, but if you could see that they had an indication who this prophet would be like unto Moses, because we had a lot of prophets. You could name them Jeremiah, Isaiah, you could name them Nehemiah. None was like unto Moses. So let's go get the fulfillment of this. I think I want John, first chapter, and verse 45. Let's find out. They was looking for this prophet. It's St. John chapter 1, verse 45. Right. This it says Philip. Philip is a disciple. It said Philip findeth Nathanael as two disciples of Christ, and said unto him, we have found him, whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write. Christ, I don't use the word Jesus, but anyway, Christ of Nazareth, son of Joseph, right? So all throughout the time of the Exodus, when the Torah was written, the commandments, after Moses died, they was expecting a Messiah, especially when they went into captivity, especially after the reign of King David and Solomon, when we went in so much major captivities. And they never found this prophet. And Philip said, we found him. That's Christ. And we can go into this other scripture in John 4, chapter 4, where this woman from Samaria And if people know the history, they'll know that Samaria is the northern kingdom. You want to go to John? Watch this. And I can go through this again. I can come right back to this, but I can read this now, right? John, somebody else come on. Let me add the screen. Shalom, shalom. Unmute your mic muted. Your mic muted. Oh boy. You have your mic muted. I ain't sure who that is.
Good night.
Good night, good night, good night. Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Who am I speaking with?
Nikasi?
Nakasi?
Yes.
All right, all right. All right, we have a live stream, so you could tune in. You have any questions, you could just feel free at the end. And we could actually discuss it. But we talking about the Messiah and his mission. Okay?
Okay.
All right. All right. Adara, shalom, my beloved wife. All right. So we was at John, the 4th chapter. I think we want verse 25. St. John chapter 4, verse 25, it says, the woman said unto him, I know that Messiah is coming, which is called Christ. And when he is come, he will tell us all things. Christ said unto her, I that speak unto thee, I am he. So Christ was telling them, that Messiah who you are waiting on, that's me. That's what Christ said. So that's another precept for who was that prophet in Deuteronomy. All right. That's Deuteronomy 18. And we could actually get into, since we're here in St. John, we could actually get into Christ's mission. So what we want to do is, while we are John 4, we want to go to the top so we could actually walk through the scripture. All right. And we can start at verse, follow me, St. John chapter 4, verse, I will start at 4. Start at verse 3. We can read through. He left Judea, he is Christ, and departed again into Galilee. And he must need to go through Samaria. So this is a must, right? Then he come into a city of Samaria, which is called Shechar, near a parcel of ground that Jacob gave his son Joseph. If anybody know who Jacob is the patriarch of the 12 tribes. All right? That's our forefather, Jacob. He gave it to his son Joseph. Joseph was the second to the last, one of the babies, one of his beloved. Everybody know Joseph. Joseph had a coat of many colors. All right? Joseph is he's the patriarch of the tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh. And Jacob's well was there. Christ, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. The 6th hour is 3 o'clock when you do the calculations. That's what we call the 6th hour. All right? Sorry about that. 12 o'clock, midday. So the sun in the middle of the sky. The 9th hour is 3 o'clock. Sorry about that. There came a woman from Samaria to draw water. Christ said unto her, give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away into the city to buy meat. Verse 9. Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, how is that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which I am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. So this woman said, the Jews don't even talk to us or deal with us, basically. So if anybody knows what's a Jew is referenced as a person from Judah. That's one of the 12 tribes. It's Judah, and the other 12 sons make up the 12 tribes. Judah is one of those sons. That's a Jew. And a Jew also could mean you from Judah. You from that area, which make up three tribes: Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right. So these Jews was prejudiced, and they said they wasn't being supposed to deal with other nations. Actually, whoever God tabernacle in, wherever that is, the other nations considered Gentiles. So the Jews cast off the Samaritans as Gentiles. But anyway, let me finish read on verse 10. Christ answered and said unto her, if thou knowest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman said unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob? Wait a minute, our father is Jacob, the patriarch. All right. So that to tell you, she cast off, or the Jews banished her. All right. At some point in history, she from the northern kingdom was cast away. And drank thereof himself and his children and his cattle. Christ answered and said unto her, whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but of the water that I shall give him in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. And the woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water, that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. All right. Christ said unto her, Go call thy husband and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Christ said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband, for thou hast had 5 husbands, and whom thou hast now is not thy husband. In that said thou truly. So he said, that woman, you aren't really with your husband. The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive thou art a prophet. She believed him now. Our fathers worship in this mountain. And you say that Jerusalem is the place where men are to worship. So she said, our father worship in this mountain. The northern kingdom is doing all kind of satanic stuff and witchcraft in those mountains, right? And she said, Jerusalem is the place where the Most High put his name. It's 3 laws or 3 feast days that we all supposed to go to Jerusalem. Passover, Tabernacles, Pentecost. It's supposed to go to Jerusalem to keep those. But anyway, let me finish reading. Verse 21. Christ said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor Jerusalem worship the Father. So we are basically telling her into prophecy what will happen in that region. Ye worship ye know not what, because there's worship pagans. And he said, we know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. Why you say salvation is of the Jews? Let's go read Romans, just a precept, so we can get understanding. Through that precept, we get understanding. Romans 3, verse 1. Give you a second to get there. Romans 3, verse 1 says, What advantage then had the Jews, or what profit is circumcision? It says, much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. So the Jews, even in Galatians, Paul especially said, first to the Jews, then to the Gentiles. The Jews get the oracles and understanding first. That's the prophecy. The tents of Judah supposed to be risen up first. Christ was a Jew. That's why he says salvation of them. They got to get it started first. All right, so let's go back to finish the context. Okay, somebody was trying to get in. I don't know what that was, but they disconnected. Okay, anyway, let me finish off what I was at. Which verse I was at? Anybody paying attention? In John 4. I think I was at 20. 25? All right. No. Yeah, you're at 24. All right. He said, no, wait, 23. But the hour coming and now is. He said, the hour coming and now is. He telling them this hour right now. He said, the hour coming and now is. Right now. He said, the true worshipers shall worship the Father. What he was telling them? He was telling them the elect. That's Christ. That's Christ and his disciples. Because remember now, the Christ told the disciples that they will be judging the 12 tribes in the resurrection. But he's saying right now in John 23, the hour coming and now is when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. What is truth? Truth is the words of Christ and the Torah. The commandments is the spirit of God. All right? Let's prove that last one in John 6 and 63. What is true? St. John 6:63. All right, there you go. It said, it's the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profited nothing. The words I speak unto you, they are spirit, and they are life. All right? And last one, Psalms 119, 142. Last one, I give you time to get there or write them down. We didn't get the spirit. He said, the words I speak unto you, spirit. Psalms 119. Psalms 119, 142. All right. All right. It said, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. The Most High law is the truth. All right. That's why you got to worship him in spirit and truth. You got to have the faith, keep the commandments. Now let's get a couple more prophecies of Christ in the Old Testament, some foreshadowing. We want to go to Numbers 24. That's what I'm going to go. Let's get some meat now. A little more meat. Now, we can pull some prophecies of this person in Torah. Numbers 24:17. All right. It says, start at 17. I jump up. All right. It says, I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite all the corners of Moab, and shall destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession, and Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies. So I can finish this off, but that's showing you that even in the end time prophecy, Israel's still gonna have enemies. Christ can still have enemies. And Israel shall do violently. Violently. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion. Dominion is control. And shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he looked on it, Amalek, he took up this parable and said, Amalek, if anybody know who Amalek is, the people in the land right now are Amalekites and what we call Ashkenazi Jews. He said, Amalek was the first of the nations, for this latter end shall be that he perish forever. So these are prophecies of the coming Messiah. Let me get one more. I want Micah 5 and 2. You know what? Let me get the Isaiah scripture, the classic in Isaiah first. Isaiah 9, and I want 5. Isaiah 9 and 5 says, I want Isaiah or Jeremiah? I want Jeremiah. Oh, yeah. Isaiah 9 and 6. Isaiah 9:6 says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be on his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. Of his increase of his government and peace shall there be no end upon the throne of David, and upon his kingdom to order it, and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this." You get prophecies all over the Old Testament. Can't refute that that's the Messiah. Let's go to Micah 5:2. Write down all these. All these is prophecies of the Messiah. And the prophecy is actually giving you his mission. He come to take over. All right. We can get the fulfillment of this one here too. So Micah 5:2 coincide or link up with Matthew 2:6. It says, "But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah, though that be a little amongst the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been of old and from everlasting." All right. So I can give you all, let's go to Matthew 2:6, and then we can use the last little bit of the screen to actually show you all Christ in the Old Testament appearing on earth. All right. It says, "And thou, Bethlehem," it's Matthew 2:6. Oh, that's Judea trying to connect. Judea trying to connect, but can't connect. Anyway, "And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art thou not the least among the princes of Judah?" And it's quoting Micah 5:2 we just read. "Out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people," my, my people, Israel. All right. That's a possessive pronoun. All right. So those are some prophecies on the Messiah. We all know the Psalms when David said, "They pierced my hand and feet. They gave me vinegar to drink." All these go back. David was prophesying in the spirit. Everything is symbolic for the coming of the Messiah. Messiah was that bread that showed bread in the tabernacle. Messiah was the menorah. The menorah is the candlestick. Christ said, "I'm that light." All right. The veil of it was rent. All of them was foreshadowing of Christ. But we're gonna get some. We're gonna use the last little bit of the scream time because I don't want to keep it under an hour to actually look at some further foreshadowing of Christ. Let's go to Genesis 18. Let's go straight into it. Genesis 18. Let's get in some meat. Genesis 18. Let's get the classic one first. Should get Exodus first. Let me get Genesis before Exodus. Let me get Genesis first. Genesis 18. Let's go get into that. Let's get in some meat. It said, "And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre." Who's the him? The Lord appeared unto Abraham. This Abraham. It says, you know what? Let me read this first verse, and that's talk about Christ talking about this day first. It said, "And the Lord appeared unto him in the palms of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day." All right. So this Abraham account in Genesis 18. Let's go to first Christ talking about this, and then we can come back to this. Let's go to St. John chapter 8, verse 56. Let's get Christ's words first. Let God be true. Let the Messiah speak. St. John 8:56. Shabbat Shalom again. I get my wife and my sister listening and everybody else in the broadcast. Judea trying to get on. I hope she get on. All right. St. John chapter 8, verse 56 said, Christ telling the Jews, your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. Then said the Jews unto him, art thou not yet 50 years old, and hast seen Abraham? Christ said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. Verse 59. Then took they up stones to cast at him, but Christ hid himself and went out the temple, and through the midst of them, so he passed. So Christ said, Abraham rejoiced to see his day. Now we could go back to Genesis and find out when this day happened, because if this day never happened back in the scriptures, because Isaiah said, if they speak not according to this word, there's no light in them. So we got to prove Christ right. Genesis 18. Let's go there. Christ said, Abraham rejoiced this day. Genesis 18 from the top. We can get it again. Then the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground and said, my Lord. That's not all caps now. That's not capital L-O-R-D. It's Abraham talking. It's L, then O-R-D. My Lord, if now I found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. It's Abraham speaking. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet and rest yourself under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread and comfort ye your heart. After that ye shall pass on. For therefore ye have come to your servant. And they did so do. And thou was said, as thou was said, sorry about that. And Abraham hasted, running to make into the tent unto Sarah, and said, make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make it cakes on the hearth. I hope I spell that right. Hearth. And Abraham ran. It's Abraham running unto the herd, and fetched a calf, tender and good, and gave it to a young man. And he hasted to dress it, and took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set before them. Sorry, let me get this right. And set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. Right? So there's these 3 men. You're going to find out once you continue reading this text, 2 of those men went to check out Sodom and Gomorrah, and 1 stayed with Abraham. Right? But watch what he can tell him. He said, I will certainly return to thee according to the time of life. And Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard in the tent, which was behind him. All right? So that's a key indication of what he said just now. And that's a whole different other topic. I can just put it out there. He told Abraham, I will return to you in the time of life, which is 9 months. So he was telling Abraham, I was going to come back in 9 months' time. In 9 months' time, Abraham had a son named Isaac. So go deep. Because even when you go to the New Testament, the promise was given to Isaac, and they say Christ was the promise. To Christ was the promised seed. So anyway, that's some deep edification. But Christ said, Abraham rejoiced this day he saw him. This is a biblical account of that day when he saw Abraham. And it was another time when he was actually, when you look at Melchizedek, when you look at Melchizedek, let's just get Melchizedek quick. I think I want Genesis 13. Let me see if I could do this quick. Genesis 13 or 14, maybe 14. Let me get this quick. All right, yeah, Genesis 14. I know it wasn't far off. All right. So let's go to Genesis 14 quick, 14 and 17. And we got like a couple more minutes, so we can close this out. And we can do a part 2, right? But this can be part 1. It says, and the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of what is his name? Sheldor Laramore. Excuse me, forgive me if I get the name wrong. And of the kings that were with him at the valley of Sheva and the king's dale. And Melchizedek, king of Salem. Salem is short for Jerusalem. All right. It's a king of Salem, right? Brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. So this king, right, bringing forth bread and wine, and he blessed him and said, "Blessed be Abraham of the Most High God." So Melchizedek, this the same person actually, or individual, even though it didn't say it in Genesis 18, who met Christ. But anyway, let's just get the precept on who Melchizedek is, and we could go on to the next, the last prophecy with it. We want Hebrews 7 and 12. No, 7 and 1. Hebrews 7 and 1. So get there quick. The book of Hebrews 7 and 1 said, for this Melchizedek, king of Salem, we in the New Testament now, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him, to whom also Abraham gave a 10th part of all. This before the Mosaic priesthood, all right? Watch this. Of righteousness. And after that also, king of Salem, which is the king of peace, all right? Salem is peace. Jerusalem, shalom. Shalom means peace, all right? Salem, shalom. They ain't going back to the paleo, but anyway. Now watch this, verse 3. Without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of God, abided a priest continually. So Christ is in the Old Testament easy. And we can close over with these last scriptures dealing with the Exodus, right? Classic one, Exodus 3. Watch this. Exodus 3 and 2. All right. Give y'all a couple seconds to get there. Write them down and then go back over it. It says, and the angel of the Lord appeared in a flame of fire. Notice it didn't say God. It said the angel of Yahweh, right? Appeared unto him in a flame of fire, out of the midst of a burning bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed, right? So it says, and Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burned, right? Oh, Iran, jump on. Oh, let me add the brother to the screen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, I go, bro.
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. All praises to Most High.
Excellent.
Yeah, just a quick catch up. We just showing Christ in the Old Testament. We already do a couple of prophecies with the coming Messiah. I don't know if you have any precepts, but the topic is the title right. Hold on. The title right now is the prophecies and the mission of Christ. So if you have any precepts, just feel free to just you could just follow along and then catch the vibe as I go. But I in Exodus right now. I in Exodus 3 and 4, the burning bush. But what I want you, oh, he went, he left. Wow. Anyway, all right. So I had Exodus 4. It's 3 and 4. And when the Lord saw that, he turned aside the sea. God called him out of the midst of the fire and said, Moses, Moses. He said, here am I. And he said, draw not nigh hither. Put off thy shoes off thy feet, for whereupon thou standest is holy ground. So, all throughout the Bible, angels appeared unto men, right? But the thing is, right?
Hey, Salakia, brother, Salakia. I guess Mr. Shuttle.
No, you're good. You're
But I
good.
back off with you bring it out.
Mm-hmm.
I probably like a red field.
All right. No, what I want you to do is bring out the burning bush account in Ezra's. That's what I want.
All right. Give me
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I breaking down something, so by the time I finish, you should have done.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So this particular angel, every time he speak, you got to take off your shoes. All right, because the ground holy. All right. You know, in Book of Revelation, the angel told John the Revelator, "Don't bow before me. I'm a fellow, servant." All right. So this angel, you have the bow and reverence too. All right. You're the ground holy, and then we can prove it. This is the same angel in Joshua. Let's go to Joshua 5. Joshua 5 and wait, today trying to get in with she a device. Duran, I see her trying to get in, but a device ain't percolating too good. Look like she's struggling to
You
get
know,
in.
it's my first time, but I didn't know I could just nice trying to go back in my Bible app, you see.
All right, all right. Give me Joshua 5 and 13.
5 and 13. All
Yeah.
right. All right.
That's the
Book
same.
of
Yo, hold on, just let me say this. You can find out that's the same angel or the same account with the angel, the individual, the bow down or take off their shoes. It's the same angel. Watch it. Go ahead. Read it. 5 and 13.
all right, the book of Joshua chapter 5, verse 13. And it
Go
came
ahead.
to pass, Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man over against him, with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went unto him and said unto him, Art thou for us or for our adversaries?
Go ahead.
And he said, Nay, but as captain of the house of the Lord I am now come. And Joshua
Go,
fell on his face to the earth, and did worship, and said unto him, What said my Lord unto his servant? And the
go ahead.
captain of the Lord's house said unto Joshua, Loose thy shoes from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Joshua did so.
So you see Joshua bowing to this angel also. So you gotta realize what's going on here. This particular angel from the Exodus was following the Israelites into the promised land. And he was the messenger. How we know that? Let's go to Exodus 23. Let's find out what this angel is doing. And the Most High make sure this angel, because even Christ said, he made us pass through the sea. He was that rock. So let's go to Exodus 23. Let's get, I think I won. You know what I want? I won verse, let me see. And I doing all this freestyle. But anyway, we can do
Yeah.
this. You know how to go to Spergamore. Hold on. All right. I want 20, 23 and 20.
Yeah, I got you.
But stop at every verse though. Go ahead.
All right. The book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 20. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared.
So he tells this the Most High Yahweh now. He's telling the children of Israel, I can send an angel before you, ahead of you, to prepare the place. That's how come when Joshua went in the land, he met this person with the sword. And he said he's captain of the host of the Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him.
So who have the power to pardon transgression? It's Yahweh, right? It's Yahweh, but it's Christ also. Watch this. Go to Isaiah 6 and 8. Hold this precept, Rachel. Go to Isaiah 6. I want the cherubim flew in. You know I want. You know just what I want. It's a particular angel without power to pardon people transgression. All right. I want verse 2. Hold on, let me see.
Wings.
You know I want where he flew in. Oh yeah, verse 6. Isaiah 6 and 6.
Isaiah chapter 6, verse 6. Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongue from off the altar. And continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this hath touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin is purged.
So even in the angelic state, this particular angel had power to forgive iniquity, and nobody else had it. No other angelic being had it. Go back to Exodus. Write these down so you could actually go back to it and review it for yourself. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Go back to Exodus 23, and I think I want 22.
Right. The book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 22. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries. Verse
Right.
23.
Go ahead.
For
Go
mine
ahead.
angels, for my angels shall go before thee, and bring thee into the Salakia, and shall bring thee in unto the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off.
Every time we fought, we never fought by ourselves. It always had to be in the Most High with us, or divine intervention. Sometimes in Judges, we used to flex and say, well, look here, kill a little bit of soldiers, get 300. You know, we used to flex like that because we was more mightier than other nations. But anytime you see it was like we was outnumbered, the Most High actually delivered us. We had forces we couldn't even see helping us.
Wow.
And it's just like that. That was the fate. We had the heart going into the battle. Our Most High was with us. With that head or protection move, we was doomed. But anyway, going back to the topic, this particular angel from the Exodus delivered us to Moses. When he said, you on holy ground. In Joshua, you on holy ground. The Most High had a particular angel leading us from the Exodus straight into the land. And it was one angel who you had the, hold on, somebody else trying to get on. Let me see. Oh, Wonder. Sister Wonder. All right, all praises. All praises, sis. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, man. All praises. We in here just getting some scriptures on Christ. And I know, Yaron, you have some precepts dealing with the foreshadowing of Christ.
I can line you up. I can try to feed off of you. Your energy. You bring it up.
All right, okay then. All right, so this is
I try to find the one in Esdras what you asked for.
oh yeah, in the bush, I think that's Ezra 14. If I'm mistaken, he said I revealed myself to Moses.
Yeah.
Let's get that one for edification. Let me find that one quick. If you want, it should be Ezra 14 though. Second Ezra 14.
14 and 3.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right, then bring it out.
Yeah, that's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 14, verse 3. Then said he unto me in the bush, I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses and talk with him when my people served Egypt. And I said him.
No, finish it off. Then I can chime. Finish it off.
All right, verse 4. And I said him and led my people out of Egypt and brought him up to the mount of Sinai, where I held him by me a long season. Verse 5. And told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times and the end, and commanded him, saying, These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide.
Con. So this particular angel said, "In the bush I revealed myself to Moses," letting you know that when you see Exodus, many people believe that burning bush was the Lord. That wasn't the Lord. They say the angel of the Lord in Exodus 3 and 2. All right.
Nah.
And this particular angel was always with the children of Israel. All right. Even during the Passover, when he sent evil angels. Say it again. All right. When do you say something?
No, no, I was talking to Dominic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. All praise.
he's listening too.
Okay. Right. So it said in verse 3, second Ezra 14:3, it said, Then he said unto me, In the bush that I manifest and reveal myself unto Moses, talk with him when my people serve in Egypt. So even during the time Ezra, let me show you something. The Most High never forsake us. Even the time in Ezra's time, which was in Ezra should have been somewhere close to the Greek captivity, during the Persian time or so forth, like that. So no, right? What are you saying? Ezra is Ezra during the Babylon captivity. Sorry about that, Salakia. Forgive me for that. Right, during the Babylon captivity. Right. So, and that's, if for edification, that's around what, 550 BC, somewhere around that timeline. All right. So that's another foreshadowing of Christ to come. And we all know his prophecies also in Isaiah, Jeremiah, Zechariah. Right. We pulled some earlier, but it was also some in the law. Let's get the classic one in Genesis. You know, I want 49. The other one from me, Iran. All right. Wonder, mute the mic if you want saying something, because I hear a little feedback.
Yeah, so now how I can?
Oh, you got it.
I think
there you go. All right.
I can start from verse 8.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. The book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be the neck of thine enemies, thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
All right, that's verse 10. It's the puncher. It said, until
Right.
Shiloh come. And it said, unto him shall the gathering of his people be. That's why it says that salvation is of the Jews, because they first, the Jews get the oracles and everything like that. And plus the Messiah, the kingship, all that is from Judah. The scepter is from Judah. All the lineage of kings, we track genealogy in the Bible. And when the genealogy starts, when Christ came from Adam to Christ, that was when genealogy stopped in the Bible. We don't need to keep it at all. The genealogy was only a marker for the Messiah to come. That's all it was. All right. So like I said, any one of y'all have any questions or bring on some more scriptures, you could just unmute the mic and then let's get in some scriptures. You know, just let me know. But we can have a part 2 on this and all. The mission of Christ. You know, the mission of Christ is simply wake up the tribes, or actually the mission of Christ is actually not just to wake up the tribes, it's to die for the sins of the people, to reconcile. Get the Ezekiel account back. Ezekiel, I think they 137. Yeah, get Ezekiel 37.
Uh-huh. If you want the
Make sure
covenant,
yeah, with the 2 sticks.
or you want
Actually,
to
get the new get the yeah, get the new covenant one time.
I can read 20 verse 26. But if you want to do 6, I can read that too. But the book of Ezekiel chapter 37 verse 26. It's a more I will covenant of peace with them. It shall be for an ever covenant with them, and I will place and multiply them. Will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forever.
Right.
More. So like,
go ahead. Keep going.
My tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore.
Yes.
So
you
want
breaking up a little bit. You was breaking up a little bit. But I didn't want the 2 sticks. But don't worry about that. You can get it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can start from verse 15.
Go ahead.
And read through.
The 2 sticks. Get the 2 sticks.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 15. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee 1 stick and write upon it for Judah and for Israel his companions. Then another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel his companions.
Right.
And join them. Continue.
Go ahead.
And join them one to another into 1 stick, and they shall become one hand. And when the children of the people shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by this? Say unto them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I will take the 1 stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribe of Israel, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them 1 stick. They shall be one in mine hand.
So hold on. It's two sticks. You got to make them 1 stick. Keep going.
And verse 20. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes.
Go ahead.
And say unto them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they have been gone, and I will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land.
What?
I will make them 1 nation in the land upon the mountain of Israel, and 1 shall be king to them all, and they shall be no
one king, right?
And and 1 king shall be king to them all, and they shall be 2 nations.
Right, we should not be 2 nations anymore. Let's get this of Christ's word. Matthew 10 and 14. Let's bring it on.
Book of Matthew chapter 10, verse 14.
No, sorry about that. Salakia, John 10 and 14.
Book of John chapter 10, verse 14. I am the shepherd. Salakia, I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep, and I am known by mine. As my Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep.
Bring it on.
And other sheep I have which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be 1 fold and 1 shepherd.
That's home right there. So he is telling you now that them 2 sticks, that's the prophecy in Ezekiel. He was telling the Jews at this time and the disciples that I got other sheep of this fold. I got to bring them and make them 1 fold, and they shall have 1 shepherd, 1 king. So we don't get no plain and that's the prophecy, and it's the fulfillment of the prophecy. That was the mission. He said what was his mission. So we started off saying the Son of Man has come to save that which was lost. And we all know that we are comparisons to sheep, right? So
Nah,
as a full, you know, we call it similitude or metaphor into fruition. So
I get that Jeremiah 15, sir.
bring it out.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, verse 6. My people had been lost sheep. And again, he's just like the brother breaking down. He said, my people had been lost sheep. I think by now we should all know when I say my people are talking about the children of Israel. Right? So my people lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from Mount Hill. They have forgotten their resting place. And that goes to tie into the Ezekiel 37, the 2 steps. We forgot our rest. Now, like Christ said, he have to bring us back into one fold.
Con. So yeah, you breaking up a little bit, Duran.
All right, let me select your hand or I on the.
No, I could hear you now though. I could hear you now.
My apologies. But you go ahead, you can finish it up.
Right. I was actually finishing up with saying that all throughout I know we passed a lot of scriptures, trust me, a ton, bringing out the foreshadowing of Christ and the prophecies, but we hit on a bunch of main ones that stand out because you have to have spiritual eyes to actually even see the foreshadowing of Christ as it pertains to the menorah and all those the foreshadowing. Let me give you another foreshadowing. When David hid for 3 days, you know, when right, those 3 days and so forth, they symbolic the Messiah resurrection. All those what the other one was, when they was, like I said earlier, prophesying the spirit with his hands and his feet. All this is the foreshadowing of Christ. You got it's a lot of foreshadowing actually. So I gotta do a part 2. I can do a part 2 of this. And like I said, if any one of you all, you know, sisters, Rib, brother, have any more questions, you know, we can close up with 1 or 2 more scriptures and then call it a beautiful Shabbat. We'll be on the road tomorrow, doing the work of the Most High, you know, and enjoying our Shabbat, trying to go at these Gentiles, you know. So all praise. Who that drop off? Or Habo. All right then. Not a Habo.
Question, bro.
Go ahead.
You doing this every Friday?
Every Friday at 9. I was actually a little late today. I was a little late today, but you know, on most side, you still get a, you know, you still get some scriptures, you know.
Right.
So you can come and join me every Friday at 9. You know, and if everybody like and subscribe to the channel if you don't subscribe to yet. Ahava, Wanda, and Yaran. Subscribe to the channel. I can go to this channel. I just pick it back up. So
yeah.
All right then. So just like I said, we can get couple more scriptures, like a few more, like 2 more, and then we can close it out. Just give me John 6 and 41.
John 6 and 41.
Actually, give me 51. Get straight to the meat.
6 and 51. All right. The book of John, chapter 6, verse 51. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give, is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world.
So Christ said, I am that bread will come down. When you read Corinthians, which one's the Corinthians when he said Christ was that rock? Give me, 1 Corinthians 10. Give me 1 Corinthians 10 and 1. if you don't get all the scripture, we can close it with that one. But 1 Corinthians 10:1.
Yeah. Book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 1. It's a moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant that how our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and
Hold on. There's a cut to Christianity. They always use the Corinthians to say Gentiles, but Paul is saying that our fathers were under the clouds and passed through the sea and were all baptized into Moses. So the audience he writing to went through the Exodus. They forefathers. Go ahead.
Continue.
Go ahead. Finish it off to verse 4.
Yeah. Verse 2. And were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank that spiritual rock, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ.
All praises, Barakatah. God, Allah. I know you. Anyone of y'all want to add something? Have any questions? Unmute your mic and do so.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, beloved sis. You have any questions?
Not any question, but I will say this was really good. You brought out some meat tonight that kind of shocked me, but I got it. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But definitely when you were bringing out some of the precepts that was talking about Yahushua being prophesied, and he was saying that before Abraham was, I am, right? So I think like something like that, definitely the regeneration of Christ, it would be a great topic. Cause with even when you went into was it King? What is that king again? Melchizedek?
Yeah.
Right? But for somebody like me, I could understand, but for somebody as in the audience, they might not get it, but I definitely think that is a good topic for you to look into for the far future. You understand?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but you did an amazing job.
Yeah, and I can get a regeneration going probably right after I finish off the part 2 of Christ and get a regeneration topic, because that's a good topic. Because even Christ said that John the Baptist was Elijah, so they can't deny it. If Christ saying that people coming back, so that's a good topic. All praises this. Ron, you saying something?
No, I was just agreeing. I was agreeing to what you were saying just now.
Oh, okay. All right, so I know Shalom the Wonder.
Shalom.
All right, my beloved sister. All right, I am. You want to have any questions?
No question. I catch, I get coming at the tail end, but I just wanted to add, but the regeneration, we are our forefathers. Not our forefathers, we are our ancestors.
Right. Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
So I believe in it. I believe in regeneration.
All right. All praises. Yeah, I came in. You came in at the tail end. Sorry, but you came in at the tail end. But I want you to subscribe to the channel because, like I said, I'm gonna do it as a weekly lesson at 9 o'clock. So we can actually go into Shabbat with some form of gathering and edification. All right.
All praises.
So all praises. And Yaran, you got the last word before I close out.
Yeah, bro. Like I say, I can do my best. I mean, to partake in this wonderful exercise that we doing. It surely will build up the camp, and it edify us all. So like I say, maybe we could touch bases tomorrow too, and we touch the road so I get have a better understanding on the topic that I mean I already grasp and understand in some sense what we talking about. But if you with me a little more, that's why I could help her with some more precepts. And like the sister say too, I come in fairly late, so I didn't know which precepts you already pulled.
Mhm.
See, so that's why I say I could try to line me back off of what you were saying. And if I could have interject or put something in on it, then I would have. But I know what you done pull or how far you done get. Amen.
All praises, bro. My beloved people, So I see Judea Rib still trying to get in here. Judea still trying to get in here and saying the device is not connected. But there's still take notes of the video and watch it because I'll do a part 2. I'll finish it off next week where I'll go in depth more than what I did even tonight because I know I went over some stuff, but I got in late and all. I didn't even start at 9 o'clock. So I'll just finish it off on a part 2 and then close it
Right.
out on another topic after that, So all praises, and I want you all to have a blessed night, and enjoy your Shabbat and rest well for tomorrow. I want one to snore because when she snores, she's feeling good. All right, so
Yeah.
all praises to the Most High.
We'll say,
All praises.
All praises.
that's it.
Shalom.
Yeah, shalom.
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 All right.